these out a little bit, I don't think it really matters.
I will, I can summarize it, cause I went over it
Yeah,
with
I
him.
think,
Yep.
yeah, and then he did send me a quote.
Okay, yep. Who's buying drinks after? Oh, we're on. Still, buying drinks after.
Okay, let's get back to like the report.
I'm good for a round.
Yeah. Oh, shoot. All right, I've got 5 o'clock. I'll call the meeting to order. Today, Monday, October 6th, 2025. Roll call, we have Selectman Howdy Goodwin, Eric Eaton, Mackenzie Jewett, Kevin Buck, myself, Jamie Thurlow, Town Clerk Sarah Abbott, and Town Manager Jesse Dunbar. Adoption of agenda. Is there anything anyone would like to change on the agenda? No? All right, next we have a public hearing for general assistance ordinance. All right, I will open the public hearing at 5:01. Jesse, anything we should know? Any changes?
No,
Anything
just
else?
the annual updates.
Okay.
The appendices from general systems.
Okay. All right, any comments? All right, seeing none, I will close the public hearing at 5:02.
I'll make a motion to adopt and sign the annual amendment of appendices A through H of the general assistance ordinance.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to adopt and sign the annual amendment of appendices A through H of the general assistance ordinance. Is there any discussion? All those in favor? Approval of minutes. We have the minutes from September 15th, 2025.
I make a motion to approve the minutes of Monday, September 15th, 2025.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the minutes from September 15th, 2025. Is there any discussion? All those in favor? Approval of warrants. We have warrant 30 for $67,989, 31 for $1,274.94, warrant 32 for $5,872.35, 33 for $17,213.65, warrant 34 for $6,371.20, 35 for $17,961.75, warrant 36 for $140,414.07. Must have been Jesse's paycheck. That one was. 37 for $19,592.39, and warrant 38 for $39,152.25.
I motion to approve warrants 30 through 38. Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve warrants 30 through 38. Any discussion? All those in favor? All right, next we have regular business. First thing on the agenda is the public safety building. And we talked about this a little bit at our last meeting, and Jesse wanted us to actually formally talk about it and make motions. You wanna summarize, or I was gonna say Alan's not here for,
Yeah,
or
no.
Jim, do you want to? Okay, yep,
On where we are.
yeah, where everything is and what you're asking for, and,
We submitted a draft of an RFQ or RFP to get the engineering study done for the lot next door and the adjacent, those other small pieces of property. And we were hoping to get that through the process, and then whatever needs to happen, have it released on Wednesday. And I'm guessing that there's gonna be the publishing in the paper, so it's gonna be 30 days, which would go out to November 7th. And then just looking for engineering firm that want to take on the
Yep.
work, so.
And this is just for the, like, the lot,
For the
the
study.
preliminary lot study, yeah.
Yeah.
I believe we'd already set aside, some for that, so it should be,
Yeah, I think there's $10,000 that's already been approved, and then
Or
there's
15.
another 15
Yeah.
that's waiting in the wing that
Yeah.
just needs approval. So we don't know what it's gonna cost, but we spelled out what we're looking for.
yep,
When we get bids back, we may have to either value engineer what we're looking for, or
mhm.
commit more to it.
So as far as the grant, I know Alan was handling a lot, or at least I thought he was handling a lot of the grant stuff. So you don't really need anything on the grant yet then?
No.
Okay.
What this study is gonna give us a rough order of magnitude cost, which
Yep.
is something we're gonna need
Yep,
for the grant.
okay.
Yeah. I know at the last meeting, Alan made it sound like, I know the notes in the, here say that it couldn't be designed, but Alan was saying he thought,
Yeah,
with different grant maybe.
originally he thought that because of what happened in Orland, that there was some rule against having it designed, but the more we looked into it, the less it seemed like that is actually what happened. It may have had something to do with them getting ahead of the process, and they had done some site work and things like that before they even got approval for the building and for the permits and everything that they needed to get, so they got themselves in a little bit of a fix, and I don't know if that affected the grant application or not. Realistically, you have to have some idea of what you're gonna build.
Oh, yeah.
So, we're gonna go ahead with a rough order of magnitude and a preliminary, so many square feet,
Mhm.
and this is what the function is gonna be to get a pretty accurate per square foot cost.
Mhm. So for them, when they do a land study, Jesse, then that has to go out to bid, does it?
Yeah, so
Okay.
the request for, that he's talking about would be to receive basically bids from an engineering firm to do
Okay.
a feasibility study.
And then we have to approve the bids,
Right.
okay.
You'd have to approve one.
Yep.
I know, similar to what he's describing with Orland, I believe this is the same or very similar grant that the town of Southwest Harbor used for their public works facility. I believe it was a USDA grant. They, of course, had designed the project because they originally sent it to voters just to pay for the project. So they had this very big design from an engineering firm. And I know that grant, they weren't able to use that design. They kind of had to start over, and they got into some issues with using the engineer that they used before the grant, because the grant wants everything fresh, but it's the engineer the town always uses, and so it was kind of murky for a bit with that as well, having something already engineered.
Mhm.
So, we'll have to clarify.
Yeah, the details on that are being explored right now.
Okay.
I don't have any answer for you, but we are looking into it, and before we do anything, we'll have a definitive answer on that piece of it.
Mhm. So right now, then, you really don't need anything from us?
I don't know
Yep.
if there's anything that you need to do in association with
Yep.
putting out this RFQ or not. I don't know if that's a function of the select board or not.
Normally, I didn't get it before the packets were done, that's why it's on.
Yeah, when did you get the request? Yeah.
Friday.
Oh, okay.
Normally, yes, you would approve an RFQ or an RFP. But
So can we do that at our next meeting? Approve what they sent you Friday, since it wasn't here in time for tonight? Or is that?
you can, it'll just bump but there's no
No rush.
specific time frame, so.
Okay.
Yeah, you can do that.
Don't you think we should
I've seen a copy of it, cause I was on the committee, it's pretty straightforward, but it makes sense to see it, I guess.
Okay, so you guys wanna see it at our next meeting and then, okay. Sound good? All right. Next we have land acquisition, Harbor Drive. This is about the property of Mike Wagner's that we had previously discussed as a possible public safety building. And we need to make up our mind what we're gonna do here, officially.
Yeah, your last meeting, you obviously discussed it with the fire department, and they presented their reasoning for not wanting it for the fire station. You decided at that meeting not to make any decisions regarding the purchase and sale that you have, but you'll need to obviously do that. There has, the purchase and sale was, that you would seek voter approval on or before November 5th. So you'll either need to let them know you're not doing that, or if you've decided otherwise, to make a motion to that effect.
Thoughts, anybody?
Public Works has said they would be interested in the space where it's larger and would work better, they could, more storage, that's correct?
That has been a discussion about that, yeah.
A terrible idea. And what would we do with the garage?
Yeah,
I think that's too big of an investment
Yeah.
for the amount of space that they would need. Cause we could add on to something here, like we've talked about before, a whole building or whatever, but I think that's too much money to spend on, adding storage for Public Works.
yeah, the only problem was the bid we got for the storage out there was crazy.
Yeah, it was. Shed roof was what, $250,000?
Yeah, I think the 248 or something crazy like that, so gravel
Yeah.
floor shed roof,
Yeah, it's still big difference in price, so.
yeah.
Yeah. I don't know how long, just, I hate to, I know we've mentioned before the ambulance service, trying to accommodate them somehow. We could, I was gonna say, we could house the ambulance service in that house if there was some, interest for Public Works. And then they could have a bay over there or something, or a bay here.
Yeah, could you keep the ambulances here? In this garage? I mean,
Yeah.
How, yeah, is the ambulance service, I know I've mentioned this before to you, but, the ambulance service seemed like before that it was in need of something ASAP. And seems like that maybe isn't 100% the case now, or is it still, I know you mentioned housing, but also, I mean, we had talked about before, if the fire department is looking at building something new, and, I mean, we all know how long that process takes, that could be 10 years, so, how immediate need do you need for housing and for, a base, or whatever you wanna call it, a place to put an ambulance, let's call it.
Well, housing is the most dire situation
Mhm.
where we don't have a place for a second person to be on duty. And we're Band-Aiding it with Kristen's generosity of having people stay in either her home or one of her cottages.
Mhm.
So that's problematic. Tremont Fire Department bay. It wasn't staffed, but it was there. And the citizens liked having it there. So having space here, particularly if it were overnight space. It's one thing to have a second person, you know, in and around the office or, you know, in town somewhere, but we just don't have any place for people to sleep other than at Kristen's. So, maybe, if there were a bay and sleeping quarters in somewhere, that could be the nighttime, shift.
Jesse, that's still considered a public safety building, right? And we have money set aside for a public safety building.
And I just think it will be a hard sell for us to sell to taxpayers to just house, just for the housing aspect. Maybe I'm wrong, but I just feel like, my gut tells me that it would be a harder sell. If you were going to put an ambulance back in town, which I know I heard 100 complaints about at least when it moved out, and at least be here for, 50% of the time, or someone potentially could be here 50% of the, they would be, like you said, like an overnight or something, then I could see selling that. Like that would be something worth trying to sell to taxpayers.
We also have, we're looking at a paramedicine program, and I don't know if you're familiar with that at all.
No.
But it's a program where people are trained to go into the homes,
Mm-hmm.
to help people in the homes and assist them as needed. They're in contact with the hospital and doctors. So it's so valuable, and we are just starting it. We're hoping that the classes will start maybe in the next month or so, where there'll be 4 of us that are trained, where we would go to people's homes. And I see a need in that now, especially since the Herrick Road Clinic is now closed. And I know last year I saw a lot of people taking the ambulance, and they were considering the ER their primary care physician because they didn't have one anymore, and they couldn't get to Ellsworth. So with the grant that we get with that, we would be getting a vehicle, like I think like a RAV4 kind of jump car that would go to the homes in Tremont Southwest.
Yeah.
So that's coming, we're just not there yet, but it's something that's in the works.
Yeah,
That's great.
Kristen.
3 board members here with all slightly different things to say, not that we're not on the same team, but we all have different emphases. If I were a Tremont taxpayer, I wouldn't want you guys to make a decision to satisfy an expedient need of the Tremont, of the South Star Tremont Ambulance Service. I mean, we do have a housing problem. We're okay right now with vehicles. We do have a housing problem. And we're gonna have to fix it short of 10 years. But I think any decision we make around these things, considering the money that's gonna be spent, it should be a comprehensive, cooperative decision. It would be very attractive, I think, to the ambulance service if we found a home here. But we wanna use our resources efficiently, and that's the voters spending money efficiently.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's what I got.
Okay, thanks.
If the town does end up with that property and decides to use it for public works or whatever, would using housing there and keeping an ambulance here be acceptable? Or do you want it closer?
Where's here?
Like the public works building or on this property?
In other words, just the housing over there
Yeah.
and the ambulance over here
Yeah.
on this side of the property. I mean, my personal feeling is it would be doable, but obviously we'd have to consult with the group.
Yeah, I just curious, I mean, I'm just kinda kicking around.
I mean, it
Possible.
would be no worse than what we're doing right now.
Right,
So-
because they stay at your house usually, right, and the ambulance
The
is-
secondary person stays at my
Stay.
house, which is in 3 minutes, literally 3 minutes, of the ambulance bay where the primary person is. So it's not worse by any measure.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Yeah.
but, you know, I will just say we aspire to something greater.
Sure, sure. Ideally,
So I
it's
wouldn't
all
want you to
together.
spend gobs of money doing something that's just a 2 or 3 year stopgap. Let's do it right, let's not be frightened or pressured by, you know,
Mm.
even though we are.
It's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
Don't be frightened by
Yeah.
that, even though that's, yeah. What if we did?
It will pay off
okay.
in the long run
Yeah.
to do it right.
I agree, yep. What if, I know, I'm just thinking through the things here, if you did end up with that property, then the house obviously would be the attractive part for the ambulance service.
Indeed.
And then that first bay that, when we looked at it, Jesse, remember the bay that's all the way to the right-hand side, all the way at the end, it's almost kind of separate from everything. Like that bay is, I think, plenty big. It is 40 feet deep. It was, I can't remember the measurements now, but 20 feet wide-ish. I would think you could use that as well. You know, that would be close at least.
It's palatial compared to what we have now.
Yeah.
So if we bought that today, they could drive an ambulance into that bay and live there, and the house is fine for somebody to move into, right? Like,
You would have to, equip the house with a sprinkler system.
Yeah.
okay, so a few modifications, okay,
Yeah,
I'm just
you
trying
need a
to-
sprinkler system, there was a list of stuff that we had before there
Yeah.
that would have to go in there, but the bay where the ambulance would not have to have a sprinkler system.
So they could drive in and they could be happy and.
Yeah, whatever they need for safety stuff or whatever.
Sure.
Yeah. Larry, yes.
2 questions.
Yeah.
When we do have the public safety building,
Mhm.
whenever that is, the ambulance there's gonna be a bay for it there, right?
Yes, yeah, that was the plan, that was the, yep.
Okay. And the other thing is, isn't the towns of Southwest Harbor and Tremont taking over the ambulance service? How's that? No?
No. There's been 100 ideas, I think, that everybody's heard around town, but no, that's not, no,
So that committee was set up, right?
yeah. Jesse was on the committee, so he maybe can better
Yeah.
inform you than I could.
The committee is paused at the moment, after the meetings, the ambulance service, Andy, correct me if I get it wrong, the ambulance service is looking at hiring, an executive director. They kinda got the idea from the committee meetings, but they felt it was best for them to go that route now than to have it be a municipal, position at this time. So right now, we're just waiting for the ambulance service to give the 2 select boards a summary of what they kind of decided at this point. But the committee will resume should the ambulance service or anybody, come back with a suggestion that they want the committee to discuss.
Yes, Andy.
I think it's important to say that we're aware that we owe you an update. And likewise, the Southwest Harbor Select Board. A lot of balls in the air at the moment, but we will, could I say by their next meeting? Yeah. By your next meeting, we'll have something for you in writing to kind of let you know where we are.
But it's more positive than it has been in the past then,
That's-
yeah. It's-
We believe
You
yes.
believe, yeah, okay, good.
We believe that's
Yep.
very much the case.
I was just gonna add, just for the conversation that kind of related to Jim's comment about doing the feasibility study for property. It was mentioned by a few fire, members at the safety day, Kevin was present, that this site where the Public Works garage is somewhat desirable for public safety, fire, EMS, due to the way it's laid out for bringing trucks in and out, doing the hose testing that they do here anyways. There is a, disagreement on sides on whether or not the existing garage is sufficient for, fire EMS use, or if it would have to be both properties, that's been brought up.
Yeah, I wouldn't wanna see anything happen to the building, cause I
Right.
feel like it's in really good shape, and
Mm-hmm.
the buildings, I don't see any issues with it, but it's not out of the question, I guess. I don't know how that would be though for, would there be enough pull-out room in front of here versus over to the, ice skating rink lot, Jim?
I don't see an issue because we
Yep.
can come right out onto the road going in either direction.
Yep.
There's nothing right in front of it that prevents you from pulling out.
And how do we know, I wish there would've got more time to think about that. How big is that building, do you know, the steel building we have here,
This one?
Yeah. roughly?
It's it's 40 by 100, I think.
Wow.
Let me double check.
I know that one bay is kind of a double bay,
Yeah.
the one on the right looking at it.
Well, I'd never thought of that, but if you could put the,
You mean making the fire station over here?
if you
instead
put
of
the
over
fire
there?
department here and add it on to the end of the building to whatever they need for like office space or bathroom space or whatever else. And then have that be for the, fire itself, like the storage, whatever you wanna call it, engines and et cetera.
4278.
42 by 78.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's smaller than, yeah. What was the, what did we say before, Jim, on the, I know not how many bays, but how many trucks? Because these are like double bays, these doors are huge. What did we say, was it three big trucks and or was it 4 big trucks?
We've got, for this station would be 3 large trucks
Yep.
and, the pickup and the accessory trailers and all that, and the small engine,
Mm-hmm.
actually, the small engine out front of the side.
But we still need the bay for the ambulance.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, if you took the ambulance out of the equation, just look at just for the fire, just for the second. If you did just fire department,
Yeah.
if you did 3 bays, 3 big trucks and then small trucks, you could fit it all in that building then, without any issue.
I don't know about the depth though, what was it?
42.
42, that's for that,
Yeah, I think,
wasn't it 30, what did you say? I'm trying to think, it's been a long time, I'm trying to jog my memory that,
yeah, I can't remember the length of engine 4, that's the,
I thought it was like 30 feet, you had said.
we'd have to.
Yeah, you'd have to look at it.
Check it.
Yeah.
And there's a certain amount of like we've got storage behind vehicles.
Yep.
That we're gonna have to rearrange that
Yep.
footprint somewhere.
Well, no, you could, if you added on to one of the ends, what I was thinking is put all your storage, like your trucks. If you put that in there, then you could add off the side of it and put all of your, like toilets and
Training.
stuff, yeah, all of your stuff in like a bit, attached, but separate from what you had, so that way you could use the existing building. I don't know, that might not be a bad idea,
Yeah, that's not
actually.
a terrible idea, yeah.
I'm sure,
Ideally, you should still have the ambulances and ambulance, all people in one building, one facility. for
Yep.
Maintenance and generators and.
Yep.
stuff, so that'd be the ultimate goal, would have everything in one side,
Yep.
one roof.
I'm just thinking of how to save some money out of the deal too, and, if you had them in the house in one bay over at Wagner's, and then Public Works uses the rest of the bay, that's bigger than what they got by quite a bit, in an office space, and then
Well, they got storage.
fire department could be right here with an add-on on the end of it for their other stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's just an idea.
Just another thought from the discussion is, there's been no discussion yet on what the purpose or use of the existing fire station would be, should it move.
Oh, true.
That building belongs currently to Tremont Fire, it's not
Yeah.
a town building, but, I mean, again, like everybody said, having it all together would be ideal, but, I mean, you also potentially
Mm.
could look at, if you're looking at, like you said, cost savings, putting fire here, public works there, and ambulance in the fire station, in the existing fire station. How many bays is that? 4? 5?
What,
Do you
the
have
one
a
they
plan for that
currently
old
have?
station?
Up to the board of directors, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't have anything planned for right now. It's not really feasible to upgrade it just because of the footprint that we're stuck with, and we don't have the water supply that we need or anything like that.
Yeah. No, I think what,
It's gonna be hard to move because of the water issue.
Mhm.
We should have a shared well with a neighbor.
Yeah.
So,
I think what you meant was if the proceeds from that would help fund, maybe I'm speaking out of turn.
Well, I just meant if that would be of use for the ambulance service to take over the building.
Oh, to take over,
Cause they don't
okay.
need 5 bays, so
Yep.
they could convert it to living and use of
Gotcha.
bays. I don't know, how feasible that is or not,
Yep.
just.
I was
It's
thinking that if
another
they,
property. But yes.
if we outfitted a building for the fire
Right.
department here, then, obviously, you would
Right,
think the
and-
fire department would, when they could sell their building and help pay for the renovations, et cetera, whatever.
Right, that's an option they could
Yeah. Yes, Larry?
discuss.
I know way back when we were first talking about the public safety building, it was gonna be, used for maybe a secondary police station and maybe a place for people to gather when there's emergency. That-
Yeah. I think the emergency shelter part kinda,
yeah,
we
that-
figured that couldn't happen, so,
that's not the recommended solution
Yeah.
for sheltering.
yeah. I think that we did discuss at the time doing, leaving an office not a certified office, but an area so that if the police officer was in town, had a 8x8 room or something that they could store all their stuff and do whatever they needed to do. So, yeah,
Yeah, the emergency shelter was actually decided on trying to use this space for an emergency shelter, but, the grant didn't come through. That was supposed to be grant funded.
yeah. Do you guys think that's worth looking into, or no, or yes, or what do you wanna do?
I don't wanna look into anything unless that's something that the fire department actually wants to do. Because as of right now, we want a new building, that's where I'm at. Is this something that everyone's in agreeing?
I mean, we'd have to
Agreement on?
look,
Yeah,
we'd have to look at this building and see what challenges would come out of it and whether there's adequate space to add on.
Mhm.
Those are all considerations that we have to
yeah,
have time to look at. And I guess we're not moving on the other thing until the next meeting,
mhm,
so that'll give time for me to pose this to the Public Safety Building Committee
yeah,
to take a look at this across the way
yeah,
and come up with, what our thoughts are. And then at the next meeting, we can have a discussion about it and what was fine.
yeah. I definitely don't wanna have the same fight we had this last time, so, just a straight, support it and why, or not, and why would be great of the whole board.
Cause if that's an option, which, yeah, it's a great spot, but if it's an option, then we have to move on something else across the street.
Yeah,
And if it is an option for the fire fire department and you do like it, then I think that it would save us money overall. And it depends on what can you spend the grant money on, can you retrofit that building
Yeah,
with
you
grant
can-
money?
You can do an addition with grant money.
Yeah.
So,
That's-
I
one of
mean-
the other departments locally did that.
Yeah.
I can't remember which one it was.
Isn't it
Wouldn't
like-
that be easier to sell though, because like in the memo here, I mean, they'd like us to have a special town meeting at some point and approve $1.5 to $2 million with no plan.
Yeah.
That's at least a plan, that's at least a, you know what I mean, like this, we don't even have a, like.
But I think also, I would like a commitment at this point from the fire department to, at least tell us that they're gonna give us the proceeds, give the town the proceeds from the sale of their building when this all, you know, no matter how it moves forward.
That's gonna be up to the.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to convene the board just to
Yeah,
ask
yeah.
that questions.
Yeah, well, I just think that's a very simple thing to ask when you're asking the town to spend $6-7 million. And, you know, I feel like we need some
That's
insurance or,
easy, sure.
you know, a little bit of decency to say, you would at least give, the proceeds from that. That would help too. I mean, it all helps, it all adds up but if we already have, how much saved aside? 500,000, 400 and change?
Almost one.
Oh, almost 4.
So you're gonna take a look at this building,
Mhm.
so why don't we just push this out another meeting?
I know. We just can't push.
You've got one, I mean, the RFQ's being pushed
Right.
to the next meeting, so we do
Yeah.
just everything in the next
Yeah.
meeting.
That's fine,
We've
I'm
got
just
time
looking
to
at the
do that.
timeline for the,
Yeah, town meeting.
when is that? Yes,
Yeah.
I know, we gotta be,
Yeah.
Even if you decided tonight that you wanted to ask the voters on November fifth,
yeah,
before November fifth, you'd still be approving your warrant at the next meeting anyways, so it doesn't change that. Of course, you can always, not that you want to, and I wouldn't blame you or Mike, but you can also ask to extend it as
Yeah.
well.
So I think we've yanked him long enough.
I know,
Yeah,
that's
Yeah,
my
I feel
thing.
terrible
This-
for Mike, right,
This has
like,
been a
this is-
runaround for
yeah,
months.
it's been a mess,
Yeah, and
a mess,
I
and
feel
it's
bad
not
for
fair.
Mike,
Yeah.
So we need to make up our minds sooner than later, so
Yep.
Mike can decide what he'd like to do with his life.
yeah.
I would say, you know, to the public safety building and the fire department, I would say to just carefully consider the location here, cause should the ice rink site not
Right.
work out,
Yeah.
but you can only use this if we do that, so,
Mm.
you know.
This was a discussion, I remember like one of the first meetings, someone mentioned that this would be a spot, and I chuckled and was like, you know, you'll never, you can't, because the Public Works is there.
Right.
But if the Public Works would be happy moving over there, then, I mean,
But then you can't watch them out the window.
Right.
Sometimes.
okay, so,
Yeah, I mean.
selling point.
Yeah. Right, that's in the other column there.
Oh, okay.
That's in the pro column.
I don't know, it seems like a good option, but we just have to all be in agreement on it, and
Yeah.
we need to figure it out.
Yeah.
Well, this does have the benefit of, it'd be all on one level and there's room for expansion on both ends.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it does have a lot of potential.
And do you want, I'd like to like make notes for the group that, I know it'd be nice to have a sprinkler system, but we don't need a sprinkler system. You have to look into that for your renovation costs. That building that's here, that steel building, really doesn't need much retrofit, would it? I mean, you're gonna have ventilation, obviously, you know, but it has in-floor heat, that's got floor drains in it, doesn't that have floor drains all through it, I believe?
As a catch,
Yeah.
as the catch basin.
Yeah.
What about the sand shed? That would still stay there, and they would
Yeah.
use it?
Yeah.
I would think you'd use that there for now. Obviously, someday, that'd be nice to have it on the back, on that flat iron side of that road. That's a lot of storage down in there. So that's,
That's a big space.
yeah. But, yeah, if you can just, the vision that I'm getting would be just put the, like all your all your important stuff in the addition. That way, whatever's there, save on renovating. That's more to store your stuff, you know, and all your new stuff would go aside. And then the ambulance could have the house and then a bay over there, that end bay. Would work. What if we, just to try to push everybody, I know Howdy's gonna throw something at me, but, what if we had a meeting next Monday to try to push things along so that we don't get sidetracked and sidelined and this end up taking another month of conversations?
Be Tuesday.
Oh, yeah, that's right, Monday's a holiday.
How'd you
Well, you, Jim, could you get the group together by then?
Yes, planning board,
Yeah, I'm out of town all week.
oh,
Okay.
Wednesday.
I'll do my
Wednesday.
best, yeah.
Wednesday.
Wednesday?
We'll do it by.
Planning board Tuesday.
And we can't schedule a meeting if they don't,
Right.
if Jim doesn't have enough time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I know, I'm just trying to push it along so we don't get caught up
We
in
may be able to
a
do
rut
something
that.
by, just doing an online call.
Okay. All right,
I guess go ahead and set it for Tuesday.
he said he, just
Well, the planning board does meet at 6, do you wanna,
on Tuesday?
so,
I don't,
you think you can do it in,
I don't know, if trying to do the online thing is the best. You have good attendance when you do that?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah, they never have in-person meetings there.
Oh, okay, good enough.
So, just,
Well, I'm just saying we have the 27th too, so we could double up meetings on this month and still be before November. To make sure you have.
but
Yeah,
then you
but
have to
it's
have it to
cheap.
voters.
Yeah, that's too soon.
Yeah, it's too,
Yeah.
That's too late.
yeah.
My point is, part of our end of the contract is that we have to have it to voters on that.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't, we'll meet on Saturday.
Tuesday, you can do it, Jesse, or no, did you say?
you could do it at 5 if you're done by 6.
Yeah.
How long it takes to take.
Challenge accepted, 1 hour.
Well, yeah, and it only gives you a short amount of time, okay.
There's a clock running.
Yeah, perfect, sounds even better.
I'd say you can do it,
Can we do it earlier than?
yeah, you can do it.
But if we do it Tuesday, that means that the fire department has to have their meeting done this week, so is Wednesday better?
Yeah, it's Wednesday better for
It's probably more realistic.
I would think
Okay.
so.
I'm
Or
busy
even Thursday
Wednesday.
is fine. with me.
What?
I'm busy Wednesday.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
Okay.
Make it Thursday
Well, then we're into the next meeting here.
then. What do you mean, the next meeting is the 20th?
Is it really?
Yeah.
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 So Thursday is the 16th.
Yep.
I mean, we need to allow a proper amount of time to,
Yeah.
to look
No, I
at
agree.
things and everyone come to an agreement. 'Cause
Yeah.
otherwise, we're gonna be in the same mess we were last week.
Yeah. We can wait until the 20th, I just don't wanna push the timeline for, I know what the office has to take care of to do their end of it, so.
Well, if we did it Thursday, then if,
Just bring it
if
to
things didn't work out, or
Yeah.
that we had we would still have a couple more days to
Yeah.
figure something out for Monday.
Okay. Sounds good, Thursday, Jesse.
Okay.
Kevin, you're good Thursday?
I can skip my Thursday, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I can do Thursday.
Okay, sound good, Jim?
Yeah.
I'll get back to you.
Alright. Okay, anything more on this, next? Good. Alright, next we have Bernard Wharf hoist upgrade and wharf repairs. I know Tyler was going to be here, but he had something emergent pop up, we will say. I can explain the hoist part because I know I've talked to him. I put him in contact with Lonnie's Hydraulics. The electric hoist, as everybody knows, is an issue all the time. Constantly spending money on it, constantly repairing it. Just was broke down again, and I said, he should call Lonnie's Hydraulics because they did Thurston's, they did a great job, works awesome. Change that last hoist over to hydraulic, and then, Justin had been after us a long time ago, forever, to put electric over hydraulic remotes on, valves on, so that you could have a remote. Cause people complain when they try to run the hoist and they have to run the handle, and the hoist is too much for some people, so they need to have the button so they can pull it over closer to the hoist, and it makes it a lot more user-friendly. And that, the way that Lonnie sets them up is they have a manual handle there and they have the electric, so if the electric ever craps out, then you still have that handle to run, works really slick. And so they recommended, the whole system basically being replaced. The hoist would stay, but the electric over hydraulic unit that we have now is extremely loud. The ones that they set up is like whisper quiet. You can't even hear them. And they would set it all up so there's off-on switches wherever, and it would supply all three hoists. And I told him, I said, I bet it would be 20,000, and he told me the quote was 13,800, which I thought was a very good price.
Yeah, and there's a second unit, whatever you wanna call it, that would run the furthest hoist.
Yeah, there's two electric over hydraulic units, power backs, whatever, and that would be using the two winches we already have, but it would be adding another winch to the third one. So it would make everything the same, bring it all up to par.
And in your memo, I put that over the last year and a half or so, that we spent 9,000 in repairs to the hoist motor on the electric hoist. There was 2 invoices on your warrants tonight for another repair, totaling 2,200-ish. I think that's on top of the 9, because he pulled the 9.
That's almost the price of the new
Right.
system.
No, I know.
Right, yeah.
Those electric
so-
motors don't take it, and then
Yeah.
Thurston's
Yeah.
was doing the same thing, and then those, the way that that particular one is built on the town dock, it's kinda chintzy, and the coupling that they have in there has broken. I know I ordered 2 for Justin when he was there, he went through them within a year and a half, so.
And I think that's the one that's had, a couple of the issues it's had have been like dangerous, like it's.
Yeah, that split coupling comes off and the whole drum
flying
comes off.
Yeah.
When it breaks, so.
Where are they gonna put the hydraulic pump? I mean, is it
Right where it is, it's already got there's a second one going into the
in the same?
So the one that's there now is a huge box like this. Those new pumps are like this big. And then they have a little tank above it, but the hydraulic motor's this long, and the pump on the end of it is like this. It's just a little, it's a direct drive one. There's no couplings in between them, like you've seen that one that Derek.
Yeah, it's
has.
nice.
Very nice rig, and we were lifting pogies out, and I was the first tester of it to see what could go wrong with it, and it's smooth, it's nice, it's bulletproof. I mean, once you set those up, then especially with the 2 handles, the electric one doesn't work in the middle of winter or something, you can use the handle.
I'd say that'd be a good investment.
Yeah.
Seeing as how we're spending that much money this year on
Yeah.
the other one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I couldn't believe the price when he told me. I said, that's. Oh, and Larry, I forgot, you're on the harbor committee.
Yeah,
Has this come in front of the harbor
Yeah.
committee? Okay. What did everybody say?
well, we wanna go ahead with, we recommended doing the 3rd electric, the 3 hydraulic.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Basically what we're saying, retrofit all of them so they're all
Yeah.
up to par, and
Yeah.
it's not that the 2 hydraulics that are there have worked well, but everyone has always complained when you mention putting the last hoist over to hydraulic, they don't wanna run that handle back on the pole,
Yeah.
and this eliminates that, and it's a really nice setup.
I motion to authorize contracting with Lonnie's Hydraulic at a cost of $13,850 for the hoist upgrades to the Bernard Wharf.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to authorize contracting with Lonnie's Hydraulics at a cost of $13,850 for the hoist upgrades to the Bernard Wharf. Is there any discussion? All those in favor? Was there something else?
Yeah, the second part of that was, wharf repairs. Again, Tyler's not here, but, the wharf's in need of, some decking replacement.
But he doesn't have an estimate yet?
He just texted me earlier, the estimate for the lumber is $3,460.
Who's putting it in?
That's up to you guys to discuss.
Was he planning on doing it, is what I'm asking, because
He said he would prefer that we see if we can get somebody to do it, but depending on the cost, if it's something enormous, he would do it.
That's a
He'd be willing
task,
to do it.
that's a
But
task.
he'd rather not.
Those screws are all busted up,
Right.
and they all have to be cut. That's a huge task.
So I was gonna recommend that you have me just get a bid on what it is to have somebody else do it. And then I'll bring that back to a future meeting. It's obviously a winter project anyways, so,
I think, you should just keep that number for the lumber,
yeah,
and then just look for a bid for the labor.
yep, okay.
But some people might not do that, will they?
Yeah, whatever. I mean, some people might wanna mark it up, but
Yeah. What did he say for lumber? Just curious. What-
3460.
No,
That
what,
was hemlock.
what was you, hemlock,
Yeah.
yeah,
oh, just rough sawn hemlock?
yeah.
Thanks,
It's fine for the top, the only,
It lasts 10 years.
yeah, he'd asked me about it before, and I said the trouble is, if you wanna save money, don't get the high treated lumber, get the lower treated.
Splash treated.
Yeah, and that will be a happy medium.
Okay, I have
Um,
priced that.
Yeah, because some of the stuff they put down before was like the extremely treated lumber, which is very
Mhm.
expensive, and I know it gets worn out before it would ever rot, so.
Yeah,
Yep.
marine treated, splash treated, and ground treated. So you're
Right.
gonna look for splash treated.
Spot.
And I think, are they 3x8s on there now?
Yeah, there's threes.
I think they're 3x8s, so it's gonna be a special order as well. But Viking can, get that number for you.
Okay.
Speaking of which, Eric, I just ordered some 16s through Viking. They were primo. Those are way better. They were very
Yeah.
good quality. All right,
Okay.
does that answer everything?
Yep, thank you.
Okay. Next, we have the FY 26 wharf fees. And I don't think there's any changes at all to them.
There's no change to the fee amounts.
I motion to adopt the September 1st, 2025 through August 31st, 2026 wharf fees as proposed.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to adopt the September 1st, 2025 through August 31st, 2026 wharf fees as proposed. Is there any discussion? All those in favor? All right, next we have, planning board resignation. We have a resignation from Mark Good, of his seat on the planning board.
Yes, so I received, email from Mark on September 22nd, stating his resignation from the planning board effective that day. Mr. Good's term expired, or expires June 30th, 2026. It's up to you if you would like to fill his seat until that date or leave the seat vacant. I think it might be, if we advertise it and see what we get, might be a good trial for both the applicant and the town, having just an 8-month.
Yeah, just a quick.
Some people are hesitant to volunteer.
Yeah.
Committing
Yes,
to 3
Advertise
years.
and see what you get, cause
Yeah.
it's hard to find anyone to
Yeah.
fill the spots, so.
I make a motion to accept Mark Good's resignation from the Tremont Planning Board and to thank him for his years of service to the town of Tremont.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to accept Mark Good's resignation from the Tremont Planning Board and to thank him for the years of service to the town of Tremont. Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
I make a motion to advertise the open planning board seat with a term expiring June 30th, 2026.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to advertise the open planning board seat with term expiring June 30th, 2026. Is there any discussion? All those in favor? All right, next we have regional collaboration. Jesse.
Tonight's is just a short reminder, again, that we have the municipal officers workshop, at the end of the month in Northeast Harbor on October 30th, at 5:30. If anybody that's planning to attend can let me know in the next week we can have, so I can get the caterer, proper head count.
Okay, I'll go because I missed last time's.
I'm planning on being there.
Howdy, you coming?
No. You're not gonna see me there either.
I shouldn't have said that.
It's not that bad.
I will check my schedule.
Yeah.
That's bingo night.
Yeah. If they serve Michelob Ultra?
I'll be there.
I'll be there, okay. Well, there you go. All right, next we have town manager's report.
All right, over the last couple of weeks, I've had a meeting with Climate to Thrive on ongoing grant work. Did the Harbor Committee financials, League of Towns meeting prep, and attended the League of Towns meeting. Met with the library chair and vice chair on some library issues. Worked on meeting prep for this meeting, had a telephone call with Alan regarding the public safety building, some personnel work, and Zoom calls with the attorneys regarding the Custis case and the appointment case. Office staff, clerk was busy with lien discharges, absentee ballot prep, VMV reports, monthly reporting, and attended the Moses training. Public Works was working on town garage cleanup, winter prep. They assisted the Tremont School with unloading playground equipment. Disposed of roadkill on Tremont Road, pressure washer maintenance, pressure wash truck 1 and the Bobcat. Hot patched on Bernard Road and half the Flatiron. Disposed of a tire on Cape Road. Dropped truck 2 off at Allied Equipment to get the sander put on it. That's all finished. It's been mounted, has the plate on it. It's been sandblasted, painted underneath. Cutting edges put on the file. It's ready to come back this week. Truck, the new truck, truck 5, has been paid for and signed for, and they're picking it up this week to take it down to Allied for the body. And truck 3 will be going down with the sander and plow to go on the new truck. And that one will have some wiring issues addressed while we're there. They did maintenance on the truck 4 sander and truck 3 maintenance, supply run, and the foreman attended the first half of a Public Works supervisory leadership training. Harbor Master worked on wharf cleanup, trash cleanup, put a new flag up on the flagpole. Worked on some moorings, rope removal on floats, assisted with a sinking vessel in the harbor, cleanup around the dumpster, coordination with Rings Paving for the hill, and had phone service finally moved over and hooked up in the office. For the next few weeks, I will be working on FY27 budget prep and attending the elected officials workshop on October 30th.
Okay, thank you, Jesse. Suggestions for the next meeting?
It's not our meeting, but I want to mention again, our state representative and Holly and the Bar Harbor State Rep Gary Friedman are going to be here tomorrow afternoon at 4 o'clock to say hi and discuss whatever. And there will be pizza served because I've been tasked with picking it up. So if they're not, it's my fault. And anyway, everyone's welcome.
Okay. And then date of the next meeting now is for Thursday, the what?
17th?
16th.
Okay.
At 5 p.m.
Yep.
I move motion to confirm the date of the next meeting for Thursday, October 16th, 2025 at 5 p.m. at the town office.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to confirm the date of the next meeting for Thursday, October 16th, 2025, 5 p.m. at the town office. Is there any discussion? All those in favor? Motion to adjourn?
Second.
All those in favor?
So we did this one in an hour?
Yeah, exactly. Get one done in an hour, no problem.